Okay. Part 2 of episode 1, I guess. So, back at this, I was debating on whether or not to elaborate on it because that was a pretty good stop earlier. But I kind of wanted to get back to it because I think it's important to process. Because I think I'm not the only person out there that's really enjoyed something, really had a passion for something and was working on a project, and then stuff just went down, and trying to get back to it, it just, for some reason, it's just not there, It's like the memories are amazing, and the idea of bringing that part of the past back is amazing. But the practical reality of it, does it really suit your current needs, etc.? And that's where I'm debating on this, because this car, let's see. Yeah, such a fun car. Oh my goodness. Such a fun car. So that's where I find myself on this New Year's Day, is wondering, do I force a reignition of that passion to bring that car back to life? Or do I locate somebody who has the passion currently, who's looking for a 64 and a half Mustang that's hasn't really been molested? It's been in an accident. It's one of those cars that's 20 feet away, looks amazing. Right up close to it, you go ooh, it's definitely been rebuilt. But it's solid. Oh, you can check out the Instagram link if you want to see some other pictures of its current state, because it's definitely not as pretty as this picture. Anywho, the topic I want to expand on with that is just been trying to analyze why is that one of those things, and I think it's more of the brain giving you the option to assign the last little bits of trauma and to a material object. That way you can actually just get rid of it to some degree. And it kind of forces you to confront a sacrifice. And yeah, trauma is interesting that way. And the brain, how it reacts. And if you're catching this one and not watching the previous one, catch up the speed a bit. And that's my favorite car, etc. Went through traumatic time, boohoo. Through said traumatic time and rebuilding all the stuff and taking care of myself there, which required ridiculous sacrifices. yeah, I found myself needing to rebuild the car again, because that's just what you do with classic cars. It's constant. Once you decide to park it and leave it, that's when it becomes a bigger project. So after, having to do the whole rebuild, body, mind, immune system, etc., which I'll elaborate on that eventually. Yeah. So I find myself still loving the memories and the idea of this beautiful vehicle, but not having the fire. It's more of like I'm loving the idea of the car. And nobody around me seems to appreciate it as much as I do. At least the people that I was kind of hope would, like, kids. Which, that's just weird. Growing up, this is where it's like younger Gen X, elder millennial talks, blah, blah, blah. Growing up, that seemed to be like the key thing. Like, everybody wanted to have like that classic car to work on. And it's like, that's the ultimate project. You kind of like hope that your dad would have one in the garage and have the means to be able to do it. And I mean, growing up, I guess that's just a thing with my dad and stuff, was growing up and going to car shows and hearing his dreams about having a car, or hearing about all the cars that he destroyed. And also just the culture at the time. I think every little boy loves their Hot Wheels. And I mean, to some extent, it's still true. I just feel like the kids drawn in by Fortnite and social media and whatever brain rot content is currently popular, it's kind of killed that. Because in order to have a dream like that, you actually have to want to do more than sit on your ass and press a button. Which, tangenting off of the trauma in regards to my own and the car, etc., and expanding on just trauma in general, and something that I kind of noticed in the last year. Seeing a lot of behavior issues in kids. And then like looking at the content that they're digesting, and like my own experience working with the IT stuff and the technology for the last 10, 15 years. Like, there is definitely a connection there. I mean, it's been known, the whole blue light thing that interrupts our brain waves. But one thing I've kind of noticed lately is more of like the ultra violent gameplay where it gets your brain firing like you're going through all this hyperactivity and but your body's not doing anything. And there's got to be a disconnect building up where you just want to you could have that ball of trauma, frustration, and like, I have all this energy, what do I do with it? And I just wonder, like, how much allowing stuff like Fortnite to be a kid's game, which, I mean, tone it down as much as you want. That's like the most annoying aspect of, or the most violent aspect of the adult gameplays like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and stuff, is what they get to do on Fortnite. It takes away any of this creative storylines or intelligence, the critical thinking. Anyway, side rant. But the thing I've been noticing, or at least I'm starting to see a pattern form, is high impact gameplay and the connection to behavior issues that seem completely uncalled for. And I don't know, it's almost like they're going through all the trauma, but without actually experiencing the physical effects, and then it's just causing some weird misfirings. I'm gonna probably just finish up this square and call it, because I think I might have expanded enough on it. If you are watching this, which, I mean, at this point nobody has, any of them, it's okay. I am not actually rewatching any of this. Like, I rewatched half of the first one and was satisfied enough to go, like, you know what? Let's just do it. Pick some talking points, try to stick to it. Try to recognize when you're tangenting, come back to it. Yeah, and just let it rock. But you know what? I was going to stop after that square in the middle. But I'm not going to. I'm going to finish it up and see where it lies. And for all the ASMR fans, if that even counts, I have no idea. Some of that stuff is just really creepy. So, you know what? I wanted to go back to talking about that Flynn Creek Circus. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's some good shit, I ain't gonna lie. Like, that was some unexpected events. But, man, if you are a fan of body movement and like how people can actually like position their body weight and manipulate it to just do some amazing acrobatics, like Flynn Creek. Like, that was definitely on point last night. I can't recall her name. I want to say it was playing Polly, the secretary. Oh my goodness, when that guy was getting on top of her, the way her neck muscles flared out and to support it. Whew. Physicality on display there was outstanding. And kudos to her for, because it seemed like the support in that, what's it called? It's a boosty corset thingy. It looked like it broke, and that must have been uncomfortable. And oh my goodness, the opening act, the dude with the flowing long hair, it's like, come on, man, leave a little for the rest of us. Shit. Oh, the baby oil in the mouth. Way to hold it together, because like I saw that and I'm like, oh god. Ugh. But it's definitely one of those events, at least the adult show, when you realize, I gotta watch how I describe this to people. Because I want to encourage people to go, but I do know that, I'm around a lot of prudish people, which might not find that humor as funny as all of us last night found it. Like that was funny. It was like the best over the top sexy vaudeville with the Jim Rose Circus sideshow elements and some just on point acrobatics. And kudos to the pirate guy. I don't think I have that level of confidence. And it's funny, I was talking with my friend in the car ride back. Why guys with that smile and that stature can hardly keep, like, they hardly can ever keep their clothes on? It's like, I've known a few. And there's like the guy, the bassist for the Queens of the Stone Age, has that same like smile. And for some reason, that type of person, it's like you see that smile and you go like, oh man, one drink, your pants are off, if it even requires a drink. And it's like and that's a weird thing to think of, because like that's one of those where it can go either way. If you're not expecting it in this day and age, it can get you in a lot of trouble. But if you're like-minded people, to a certain, like, I guess it depends on how that goes. Yeah, it's like one of those behaviors. It's like really threads the needle. Comfortable nudist versus what's the word I'm looking for? It escapes me. Anywho, it's one of those behaviors that it's 50-50. When it's positive, it's funny. When it's not, it's not. And yeah, there's a certain personality type that's able to thread that line of inappropriateness. And if you do any yeah, I don't know. Don't know where I'm going with that one. I think I'm just going to leave it. Because, like, that's one of those behaviors that, like, I remember seeing in boys growing up. I think every boy has that phase if they're comfortable with themselves. But then seeing how it plays out with the people that I've known that have been over the top or carried that behavior out past the early teens. I mean, just like the one example, the guy from the Queens of the Stone Age, he's a complicated individual. And I will not go into topics because, of course, I don't condone any of the stuff. In regards to the legal issues. And honestly, that's what got me on the tangent there. Because I don't know anybody like that anymore. I'm glad I don't. Now, at the time, knowing those people, yeah, actually really appreciated them. So, they're good people. It just seems like that's the personality type that needs to stay away from drugs. Because in retrospect, I'm like thinking, it's like I can think of several people that fit that personality type, and the only ones that didn't end up being pieces of shit or getting into trouble or taking that behavior set to a really bad place were people that didn't use anything harder than cannabis. So, if you do find yourself to be an outgoing nudist, stay away from the hard stuff. And on that note, no, not on that note. Not done yet. That square is not quite square. And that angle is not right. And you know what? So, already started riffing on mentality, personality type. That are shown in men and boys, etc. I might start riffing on that a bit because I had a friend ask me the other day, is how do you clean up one's algorithm once it's been corrupted by these alpha male types? And yeah, that's one thing. It's like I just want to be clear. The Flynn Circus thing, that was a tangent. As far as talking about the personality type, I was not assigning any of that to it. It was more of like a, hey, I've seen that smile on somebody. And it reminded me of funnier times when people were less uptight. And I appreciated it. But it got my brain thinking. So back to that whole trying to clean up the algorithm thing. I think I'll talk about that one next time I do some solid painting, because if you can't tell, I have fresh canvas in the background, which is fun. And I think I'm going to do just put them all four together and do a big piece. That'll be fun. So, in order to do that, though, I'm going to have to get some sheeting and make this place look like the set of Dexter. Yeah. And I think I'll riff on that, because that was an interesting question. How to clean up the algorithm, because the algorithm's a pain in the butt. But there was this YouTuber, I don't know, it just popped up on my algorithm the other day, DJ Pizza something. I don't know, it's some... He was begging people to stop caring, stop responding. And it's like, that's the key point. It's like, I'm not going to mention any of those people's names. I'll link the DJ Pizza thing, because that was a very compelling video. But no, I don't think we even need to respond to anything that they're doing. Stop speaking their names. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. It's the only way to do it. If you want a fire to go out, extinguish the oxygen. Stop fueling it. Every time you click on anything, whether you love it or hate it, it feeds it. Alright, I'm stopping. Let's see. Hope you guys have a good year.